Well, that's a lot of fun. I like the music and everything, but you know, we got a little bit of a late start today because we're having some technical issues. Go figure, right? I was just talking with Steven a few minutes ago saying, man, I need an engineer. Jake is really good at a lot of things, but he's just maybe a half step, maybe just a half step short of being a full blown audio engineer. Anyway, Jake, I appreciate your effort in trying, and we just couldn't get an audio feed from Steven. So Steven is actually standing by in a Zoom call, and I hope that you're going to be able to hear him in just a minute. But hey, welcome. This is, let's see, today is June the 23rd. This is the June 23rd meeting of the Flipping America REIA. It's the lunchtime meeting on Wednesday. We meet every Wednesday and every Thursday for dinner time, or 7:30 Eastern time, except on those significant weeks where we just need to honor a holiday or so. And that's coming up in a couple of weeks. We will be out on the week of Independence Day, and we'll make some announcements about when we're coming back and that sort of thing and who we've got lined up. But normally we're here every Wednesday and Thursday. So glad you're here. The Flipping America REIA was launched in 2020, January of 2020. And we were just getting started, and then the pandemic hit, and we had to take everything online. And it worked out okay because as of today, we have 32 chapters nationwide, scattered coast to coast, with over 10,700 members in our meetup groups now. And that's pretty cool. And I'm glad you're a part of it. And thank you for taking a minute to tune in today. As always, we start our meeting with the pledge. We don't want to get all controversial. And of course, I would pledge to the flag of the United States. This is Flipping America, my favorite country. And it's the country that everybody in the world wants to get to if they can. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a pledge to ourselves, a pledge to take responsibility for our own lives, to roll with the punches, as it were, and to rebound when life hands us some things that we wish they hadn't. Nobody writes into their 3-year plan enormous mistake, and no one writes into their goals for the immediate future major crisis that wasn't my fault. No one puts that into their plans. But it happens to everyone. We all have crises. We all have mistakes that we make. We have situations that come into our lives. And what makes up our success is our ability to respond to those situations. I'm living proof of that. And I encourage you to listen to the words of the pledge. Say along with it if you have heard it.
When I look in the mirror, I see the reason, the credit for my successes, the blame for my failures. I cannot make it without my team, and I tell them often. But when they succeed, it's because I chose well and I led well. When they fail, it's because I did not choose or lead well. I am the reason. I may have setbacks, but I cannot fail if I don't ever give up. You got circumstances. I got circumstances. We all got circumstances, but you won't find me under mine. My situation will not dictate my emotion. My circumstances will not control my results. External forces will not take away my power to choose. I cannot change the world, but I can change me and the way I relate to it. So I charge on. I am the reason. I have a massive vision, which creates massive pressure, leading to massive action, which is the only chance I have to achieve massive results. The world doesn't owe me success. God doesn't owe me success. No one is going to work for my success. Therefore, no one will work harder for their success than I will for mine. I will give my all and then a bit more. So tomorrow, my all will be more.
I got asked again on Monday night. I was speaking at an event, and somebody asked me, "Why do you do these events, and why do you do the REIA?" And the simplest answer I can give you is, I know that people out there want to do well. They want a job that they love and a career that they enjoy, but they also want to make enough money to do something extra, to do some good in the world. They've got a cause they want to support or a foundation or something like that. And so I've made it my goal to help 1,000 people become real estate millionaires before I quit. Now, I don't really ever plan to quit. I like what I'm doing too much. But if I can help 1,000 people become real estate millionaires, then most of those people are going to want to do something with their extra money to try to make a difference in the world and to change lives. And if they succeed in that, then I will have played a small part in 1,000 points of light. And that fires me up. That motivates me. And when I'm feeling like, oh man, I'm tired, I could just do real estate and I don't even need to do the REIA thing. But I think about the ability to help people, and it gets me fired up. And so that's why we're here. Now, I've got just a few quick announcements. Then we're going to talk to Chip. He has joined us. I'm getting him into the green room right now. And then we're going to go to our guest for today, Stephen Wible. He's standing by. All right. So this is the Flipping America REIA, and this is the topic for today, a credit-worthy business. And if you pray right now that we'll make the sound work. I'm not sure we're going to get the video feed from because we had to put Stephen into a Zoom call. And it's not his fault, y'all. I just want you to know. It's some problem on my end and my lack of understanding of this control software that's taking up all the screens here in the studio. Here's some resources for you. If you want to dig in a little bit into real estate, just take a screenshot of this, come back and refer to it later. And Stephen, remind me to talk to you about that last item on there. Flipping America Funding is it's a new page on our website, but this is where we are linking to our friends that help you get gap and bridge loans and unsecured business credit and things like that. And I have a place reserved for you there, Stephen, on that page. All right. If you want to analyze deals, Flipping America Comps. Now, I'm not trying to fool anybody here. This is a white label version of PropStream, a wonderful software that we use every day in our business. And Burton Alicondo from PropStream is going to be on next Thursday night. That's a week from tomorrow night. And so that's going to be good. AmericanIRA.com, my favorite IRA custodian. They've been a sponsor of the show for 3 years now, and it's quite a ride with American IRA. Insurance, there's a link there that takes you to the National Real Estate Insurance Group, and they understand what you're doing with investment real estate, and they know how to write the right kind of policy that's going to get you covered. And besides that, if you use that link, I'll get a small affiliate fee, and I appreciate that. And then deals from the MLS. We also use Privy nearly every day. We're reviewing the MLS in multiple markets across the country. My virtual wholesaling company is at it and kind of going crazy. This is a wonderful thing that I didn't have anything to do with, but if you just say, Alexa, play the podcast Flipping America, it will play the last show that we created. And this is Flipping America, which started out as a coast-to-coast AM/FM radio broadcast. And still today, we are doing the radio broadcast, but in 2019, we invested in turning it into a podcast, and that's been a pretty good decision. Then in 2020, we formed the REIA, and we are still working on fleshing out the academy, but the Flipping America Academy is coming with a full online course training for real estate investors that might include a certification at some point down the road. Then the Buyers Club, we launched it last July, and we had just opened the doors. By the way, if you haven't heard, the membership has been closed for about 4 months, but we just opened the doors really yesterday. We're going to take in 40 more members in the Buyers Club. And if you don't know, this is a done-for-you investing service. We find the houses. We show you what to do with them. All you do is put up the money, and the returns are so great, so wonderful. My lawyers tell me I can't talk about them, not to you, unless we are having a personal conversation and I already know you, because it's kind of unbelievable. It's my favorite thing. All of my profits from my flips go into these houses with the Buyers Club. Yeah, my goal is to accumulate 50 or 100 of them in the very near future. The trading platform is coming soon. We're still working on it, the Flipping America Network. And, the work is ongoing, even though I've stopped giving you a publication date because we keep finding other things that we want to fix. And so, yeah, but the team is working on it. And I can tell because the dollars are going out of my accounts to pay the developers, but it's going to be something special when it comes out. All right. Let's see. I think, oh, yeah, just a little encouragement to join the Flipping America REIA. If you would like, you can join. It's the best bargain going in REIAs. It's $99 a year. You get access, discounts, the network. There's some content behind the paywall there. And I encourage you, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, to put your questions or comments into the comments. I'll see them. And if you have questions for Stephen as we go, we will make sure he gets answered those questions. All right. Let's see what happens when I do this. I think this brings Chip in. Oh, no, that's wrong. Here we go. Let's do this one. Chip, there you are.
Yay. Hey, Roger.
Yeah, you got a little lag on your...
Where is Chip today?
You do what?
Where am I today?
I don't know. Are you in Savannah? You've got a little lag on your audio.
Yeah. I'm in Savannah, Georgia.
All right.
So it's not working well?
Well, it's just a little bit of a lag. It looks like I'm watching a Japanese movie.
It seems that way to me a lot of times when I'm on here. Anyway, I'm going to quickly talk about property down here in Savannah that I came down to see. We're closing on it today. So he was able to pick it up for $122,000. And he's only going to put $8,000 into the rehab. So cosmetic, very cosmetic. He'll have 130 in there. And it's appraised for $190,000. So he's going to make a quick $60,000. Minus the costs. But he shouldn't be in it very long. He's even considering putting it into our rental loan, which, by the way, I don't know if I told you about this, but we've got the ability now, when you're finished with your fix and flip or your new construction, you can convert it into our rental loan, which we have a 3 or a 5 year rental loan, and you only pay a fee. There is no closing costs. It's just a conversion. Yeah, so he may do that. He's still thinking about whether or not he wants to take the $60,000 and use it for something else or rent it for a little while.
Yeah, there's a lot of analysis that goes into every decision like that. I'd probably take the $60,000 and use it to pay cash for a lesser rental.
Right. One of your buyers club, 2 or 3.
Oh yeah. You could. Well, with the $60,000, you could buy 3 of the buyers club houses.
That's right.
And you know that's what I would do. Not probably. I like those buyers club houses way more than I've ever liked any of my rentals. So
exactly.
All right.
So I went to see 5 properties down here this morning, and I'm going to go see 6 more this afternoon before I head back to Atlanta.
So, and you're just all over the place and somewhere different every week. And I know you got to go out to Dallas next week, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow.
So
but that's fun.
This is Chip
Cagle. We're going to take in a Rangers game.
Okay. Well, all right. I don't know how they're doing this year because I'm not really a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
And I became even less of a baseball fan this season, but that's again a conversation we'll have offline. Anyway, I have an opinion about baseball anyway. I don't mind sharing this because it's non-controversial. What it is really is an opportunity to go hang out with 3 or 4 of your good friends for a 3-hour conversation and beer and hot dogs interrupted by 90 seconds of action. There
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to see something that's even longer, and maybe some people would consider it more boring, try a cricket match.
Yeah.
Those things last 7 hours.
Yeah.
In fact, some of them can last 3 days.
Yeah. I had a friend from New Zealand who explained the whole cricket thing to me. They could play this game for 3 days and still end up in a tie.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, one of these days, if the demand is enough, I will tell you guys how to fix soccer and hockey to make it so that even the people who are bored by it will watch it. I have a way. Yeah. Karen, Z's on the cricket. Yeah, I'm with you there. Anyway, all right. So, Chip, you are the Southeastern Regional Director for Bay Mountain Capital, right?
Right. So now we're in Georgia and Tennessee.
Yeah, but you're going to Alabama and Florida real soon. And,
That's right.
okay. Now, I just want everybody to know BayMountainCapital.com or BayMTN.com. And
Yep,
you
that's
are
a
Chip
shortcut.
at either one of those, right? And
Correct.
what the other thing I want everybody to know is Bay Mountain makes loans for real estate investors. They can do your hard money loan for your fix and flip project. They can do your rental loan. And as Chip just
Mhm.
described, they can do the conversion for you. They have great rates. They're good people. I love these guys. I love dealing with them. And if I ever borrowed money, I would borrow it from them first. All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Good to
you
see
as
that.
always. Appreciate your support. And
Yeah. All right.
all right, so we're going to switch out here. We're going to see now what I can do. I have Stephen joined us in the interview link like Chip just did, but there was some problem. I know his computer was broadcasting, but I was not hearing it. So um, yeah. Chip, by the way, there's a question for you from Karen. She says, when are you coming north? Anyway, I've got Stephen here. And so what I need somebody on the live stream to do, Stephen, say hello to everybody. All right. So somebody on the live stream, tell me if you could hear him. He just said hello, everybody. Put it in the comments. I'm waiting. Nope. No one is. Are you monitoring the live stream over there? Yeah, there's a 30-second lag. Oh, Karen says nothing. Okay. All right. Hang on with us a minute, everybody. Let me make sure. All right. Say something now. Now I don't hear you. Oh, everybody says no. Okay, everybody, hang on. I appreciate all that. It's really good to know that you're out there listening. But so let me fiddle with the controls here because I just turned it off so I don't hear him myself. Select the speaker. All right. Microphone and output, audio monitor, Zoom audio device. Let's try that. Okay. Now, Stephen, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, wow. All right. How about now? Can you hear me now? All right. And now I have changed. Y'all continue to say hello to each other in the comments for a minute. But say something again, Stephen. Can you so that we can see if they hear you? All right. Did you all hear him say testing 1, 2, 3? Put in the comments, please. We hear crickets. Oh man. Yeah, you just try it while you're on the Zoom call. All right. So we're going to try to bring him into the interview link like we did before, so y'all can at least see him and say hello. We may not be able to hear him. Okay. But if we don't get this worked out, and we were trying, 15, 20 minutes before showtime, we were trying all these different things to try to make it work. I know we can do a Zoom call, and what Stephen has to say is very important and can be very beneficial for your business. So we will do a separate interview, and I'll post it on the YouTube channel. And all right, so leave the Zoom call and try the other. All right. And I can end the Zoom call. Stephen is joining here. Assign him to guest 1. And let's try this. There, we see you. Can we hear you?
All right. I don't know.
Hey, yeah, I hear you.
Outstanding.
Wow, it's working now all of a sudden. Great.
It looks like there's probably a delay.
A little bit, but a delay is better than not hearing you at all. And we had a delay with Chip. I don't know. It could be we pay for super fast, high speed fiber internet here, so we don't have any of those problems. But anyway, I'm glad we're talking. How's it going?
Man, I'm excited.
Hey, you guys,
great,
you guys
man.
in the comments, let make sure that we can hear him. Oh yeah, Mag Mom says we got action. All right, let's go. It's exciting. Cool. Thanks for your patience, everybody. And here we go. Stephen Wible is with Credit Suite. And Credit Suite is an organization that's dedicated to helping you as a small business owner develop credit for your business that is not connected to your personal credit. They've got multiple strategies and a lot of education. And Stephen has joined us today to talk a little bit about their programs and enlighten us. But first, before we get into that, Stephen, I just want to make it a little personal. Tell us a little bit about your journey, because I know you've had a little experience in real estate and you ended up at Credit Suite. So talk to us.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. I actually started off, joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, did my time there, went into manufacturing. My family grew up in the printing industry. Built a decent sized company and sold it, and at a young age said, well, now what do I do? So I bought 32 properties, one shot. Had no idea what I was doing, and was able to procure the money I needed, and sold half of them for more than I paid for the 32. So now I'm in free. And that got me on my way. As a matter of fact, in 2 years, I flipped and or held, I flipped 300 properties and held a little over 300 properties in a couple of years. So I've done it once or twice. And then, of course, we all lived through 2008, 2009, 2010. and I'm kind of enjoying watching it happen now.
Yeah, really?
Well, not the 8, 9, 10 part, but at least the 6, 7, 8 part.
Yeah, well, I don't wish for us to have another crash, but I made most of my money in the crash years from '08 to 12s when I really cleaned up. But that's a story for a different day. All right. So did you get out of real estate then when the crash happened?
No, I stuck with it. I've always been one of the top real estate agents in the country, and I did move to Florida and stuck with real estate again. And then I was evacuated for a hurricane one day. I lived on the Gulf of Mexico and went to my Marine Corps buddy's house inland, and I'm sitting in his spare bedroom on my laptop and bored, and I'm looking on Craigslist of all places, and I'm looking at jobs. I'm like, man, I've never had a job. I'm 55 years old. I've never had a job. So
Wow.
I found this company, and I started to research what they did, and I got really excited because I understood business credit from my manufacturing days, and I transferred that into real estate. But I didn't know that there was anybody out there teaching it. It was just something I learned, passed down from my family. So I interviewed. Naturally, with all my talent and expertise, they said no. Anyhow, I guess they regretted that decision, called me back a month or two later. I came in. I thought, yeah, this might be a temporary situation, but I found out that I absolutely love teaching people about this. As a matter of fact, the last place I was before COVID shut us down was at the Ohio REIA, teaching. I think there was 900 investors there.
Yeah, Gina.
Yeah, exactly. So we were up at the Great Wolf Lodge, I think. I don't know. Once you travel enough, you forget where you're at. So I really found that I love doing this. As a matter of fact, I think I was a month or two in the company, and our CEO, Ty Crandall, said, hey, would you like to do a webinar? I said, outstanding. What's a webinar? But I found out that I love it. And next thing you know, I'm doing podcasts and, the whole story. And the reason I'm passionate and excited about it is because it is a true game changer in every industry, but real estate is my focus because I know what it did for me, and I'm amazed at how few know about it, how few really understand how it could change the game.
Yeah, well, a lot of people watch HGTV and think they want to be in the business, but I'm not making fun. I'm grateful because that level of interest is why Flipping America is one of the top rated podcasts out there with 1.5 million listeners a month, because a lot of people are interested in this topic thanks to the TV shows. But it's not necessarily as easy as they make it look on TV. And one of the things is you've got to have money. One of the things about real estate is it takes money to do a transaction, but you don't have to have your money. And that's where you come in.
Correct. That's 100% correct. So I taught this at the last REIA I was at. All of us who have ever purchased property, flipped properties, rehabs, and have had to borrow hard money. We didn't have our own money.
Yeah.
We all know how it works. You typically, if you've got experience, they'll fund the whole deal. They'll hold back the construction. They'll give you a series of draws against that construction. Maybe it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, whatever it is. Now, if you're a brand new investor, they typically want you to put skin in the game in the beginning, and then also you're fronting the construction. And this is where people, I think, run into issues. Now, what I did is I understood about business credit, so I began building my business credit profile so that I was able to get high limit credit with places like, I don't know, small little stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, and I would leverage that credit so that when I had to front the money to rehab these properties, I didn't pay for any material out of my pocket. I let Home Depot finance it. Right? So they would give me the terms that I needed. I'd fix the property, take my draw. Now, instead of paying off Home Depot, keep in mind this was during a hot market, right? Instead of paying off the Home Depot credit, I would take, let's say, 30 grand and put it 10,000 down on 3 more properties. So I was using their escrow draw to put deposits on new properties. And think about how fast that can scale when you're flipping 8, 10, 12 properties every month.
Yeah.
And then when I sold the properties, I would obviously pay off, any debt that what was corresponding with that particular property, and then move on. So I had it built like a machine. Now, part of the reason I was able to do that is I was only working on a certain type of home. I was doing 2- and 3-story row homes in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area. But it was a machine. I mean, I had it down. I knew what it cost to fix every pride. Walk in a property in 3 minutes. I knew what it cost to fix it. Put my offer in. Close on it usually within 5 days, and I have my contractors done within a week to 2 weeks.
Okay. So, keep going.
I'll say so. The reason I bring that up is because without that credit that my business had generated on its own, I wouldn't have been able to do it, because no individual really has the credit personally to finance that many properties at once. And I'm talking about construction. Right? So you don't want to break out a personal credit card, a MasterCard, Visa, American Express. To do that, it's fine on one property, maybe even 2. But when you're talking about over 10 to 15 properties a month you're doing this with, why should I finance it when I can let a $1 billion corporation finance it, right?
I would say if you're going to use your credit card, make sure it's a rewards card.
Absolutely. but the reason I bring this up, the second reason is, what I wanted to do was protect my personal credit at all costs. Because if you don't have cash, but you've got really good credit, sometimes opportunities open up for you, right? And because I didn't use my personal credit, and I'm talking about even for my own vehicle, gas cards, my computer, my laptops that I needed, all my employees were driving vehicles in the company name. None of it was tied to me. Right?
Okay.
So because of that, my personal credit stayed at a high level at all times. And I can tell you one story of an opportunity that came across my desk. I got a phone call from a tax sale certificate company. They had a foreclosure. It was a 32-unit apartment complex. It was near Rutgers University in Camden, New Jersey. I had exactly 1 hour to make a decision, and I couldn't get in the building. So I had to go look at it. They were asking $330, I think was the purchase price. I had to contact my bank, who obviously, it was my bank, told them the situation. They said, no problem, you're approved. Based on your credit, we've already got your financials. We know the situation, you're approved. So within an hour, I was approved. I closed on it, spent about 3 months working on it, and sold it for $1.1 million. Now, I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I'd have been maxed out on my credit cards because I was rehabbing 20 properties at that particular time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, of course, the question is, so how do we be like you?
I was going to say, how do you do it, right? So here's the problem with building business credit. There's lots of companies that will give businesses credit, but if they're not reporting, they're not helping you build that profile. It's kind of like me lending you money, Roger, right? And you pay me back $1 million. If I don't report that to the credit reporting agencies, it's not doing anything to help your personal credit profile. You may need the money, but it's not doing anything for your personal credit profile. So in order to build your business credit profile, you have to know who to go to. You have to know who they report to, because there are 3 credit reporting agencies that are important for business side. And you have to know what it's going to take to get approved by them. Now, I'm going to give your listeners an example of what these lenders and creditors are looking for in the early stages. So if you have either a brand new business or you have no business credit profile, you have nothing reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, nothing reporting to Experian. In other words, you're just not there, okay? They're going to look for what we call fundability factors. Now, fundability factors are nothing more than fraud detection, for lack of a better word. Okay, now here's where it's going to get dicey for real estate investors. So in these fundability factors, they're looking to see if you're really in business. So they're looking for some basic items that most manufacturers will have, because manufacturers are going to have a building, they're going to have employees, they're going to have equipment, they're going to have phones on the wall. It's what a manufacturer does. But the very first thing they're going to look at is your email. So if they see this, stevensellshomes@gmail.com or ibuyproperties@gmail.com or whatever, or Yahoo or AOL, God forbid, that's a red flag. That's an immediate red flag for the underwriter to go, wait a minute, this could be fraud. Right? Now, how many of your clients and REIA members are using Gmail and Yahoo and, like I said, God forbid, AOL as their email address, right? So they're looking for that. Better, what they really want to see is info@yoururl.com. So info@flippingamerica.com.
.net right? In our case, but yeah.
Or .net, yeah, sorry. And once you've got that handled, then they want to look at your phone number. Now, what type of phone do you think most real estate investors would give me if I asked them for their business phone?
Well, they're going to give you your cell phone number, probably.
Exactly. Here's the problem. Yeah. I know you're old enough to remember this just like I am. Do you remember picking up the phone and dialing 411 and asking for Joe's Pizza down the street and whatever?
Yes,
right?
Yes.
It's called the National Full. Yep. Yeah, ring. Anyhow. 411. Exactly. You hate it when you had friends with 9s and 8s in their phone number.
Okay, I'm old enough to remember when you could pick up the phone and dial 0 and get the operator to give you a phone number.
That's exactly right.
I lived before there was 411.
Well, that database still exists today, Roger. It's called the National 411 database. I know most people use Google, but lenders check that database to see if you're really in business. Again, they're looking for fraud. So looking to make sure that you're truly in business. You're a legit business that they're going to give credit to that's going to pay them back. Well, you can't list a cell phone there. Can't list one. So what do? Right? I know real estate investors don't want to go get a business line installed in their house. Well, there is an option. It's called a voice over IP.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have heard of Google Voice, right? Which is the right street, wrong direction. Here's why. If you list that number with the National 411 database, it's going to come up as Google because they own the number. Right. But you can go to a company like Ring Central or Grasshopper and get yourself an 800 number and have it forward to your cell.
I'll let everybody in on a little secret. If you call our toll-free number, 877-55-ROGER or 404-369-1018, that's a Grasshopper number.
There you go.
It has been for years. We've used Grasshopper since 2015.
Perfect. So there you go. Classic example. So again, that's easy. The next thing is going to be, and this is where really a lot of real estate investors fall down, your address. Now, I know most landlords want to use a P.O. box. Keeps their privacy. Mm-hmm. Right? The problem is if your P.O. box is your corporate address, that's absolutely the number one red flag for fraud. And it's going to make sense. Mm-hmm. Hey, Roger, I'd like you to loan me $20,000 on this property, but I want it to be unsecured. My email is I'm never going to pay you at Gmail. My phone number is a burner cell phone, and my address is a P.O. box in Miami. How comfortable are you feeling, right?
Right.
So you want to use either a virtual address or your home address or a real commercial address. What I did is I took one of my buildings that was zoned commercial, and I just made that my office. Right? And then when I had that 32 unit, I took one of the lower units and made that my office. So I always made sure I had a commercial address because I know when you have a commercial address, you're actually going to get higher limits. But your home is fine, and obviously a virtual address. When I say virtual address, I'm not talking iPostal, I'm not talking UPS box. It needs to look like a commercial building. And people argue with me a lot over this. They say, well, iPostal, they told me it's a virtual address. I said, it's real simple. Google Earth the address, go down to street level, look at it. If it looks like a retail store, it's a P.O. box.
Yeah. Well, if you try to get your business listed on Google, you can't use any of those. Google won't recognize them. So
Exactly. So anyhow, so if you've got those down, then you can begin applying for what we call Net 30 accounts. I know you're familiar with what Net 30 is, Roger, but to those who aren't, Net 30 is pretty simple. You're going to buy, so let's say Home Depot will give you Net 30 credit out the gate. You're going to buy whatever you need from them. They're going to send you an invoice. You've got 30 days to pay the bill. Then they're going to report that experience, we call it payment experiences, to the credit reporting agencies. I believe Home Depot does both Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. Now, here's the good news. The good news is business credit is not like personal credit. Personal credit can take years to get a strong, thick credit profile where people just want to give you money. Business credit, you could do in under a year. And I'm talking high limit. Another example, a truck driver. If you and I apply for a gas card, Roger, we're probably, even into our business name, because of what our SIC code is, we'd probably get a $1,000 limit, $500, $750, some number like that. Truck drivers average $10,000 to $25,000 in credit limits on fuel cards. Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure. So don't you think rehabbers would get higher limit with Home Depot than maybe mom and pop fixing their kitchen?
Sure.
Right. Right. So I don't even want to give away what my limits were, but they were very high. I could rehab multiple houses. Now I had to build up to that because I was spending $30,000 to $50,000 a month with them on a regular basis. And again, none of this is tied to your personal credit. And this is important because at some point, if you're going to buy and hold and you're going to refi into a real loan, right? Every time you do an inquiry, what happens? Score goes down.
Yeah.
Every time you use a credit card in your name, if it impacts your utilization at all, your score goes down, right? And as your score goes down, what happens to your interest rate on your investment properties if you're just getting ready to refi a new property?
It all goes up.
Yep, which means you make less money. So why not let the business stand on its own 2 feet? Now here's the other upside. I lived through that crash. And I didn't see it coming. My wife saw it coming. She saw it a mile away like a train. I didn't believe her. I kept saying, no, let's buy more. The good news is when it all crashed, all came crashing down around my feet, I walked away clean.
That's nice.
My business had all the credit. I had none of the credit. I had very little credit. My house obviously was in my name, but everything else, vehicles, everything was in the company name. So it's not that you're planning to fail, but don't fail to plan.
Right. If I could just throw this in there, I'm just sitting here thinking about a good friend of mine who ran a very successful restaurant down on the south side of Atlanta. And I loved going there. I loved taking my family there. But he got involved in real estate investing and he took loans out and bought a bunch of rental properties. I was not his advisor. He didn't ask me for anything. He just did this. And but he signed a personal guarantee on all the loans for the real estate. When the crash happened, he started having problems with those houses and it affected his credit score. And what happened is his franchise looked at his drop in credit score and shut down his line of credit. So the first bad month that he had where he was a little bit below revenue, he couldn't pay his people. End of the restaurant. He lost his business and livelihood because he had personal guarantees on all those loans.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you want to get something in only the business name, your debt in only the business name, they're going to pull your business credit report. And the bad news is, unlike personal credit, where if you have nothing reporting, you get no beacon, on the business credit report, it says potential to be bankrupt in the next 12 months. They give you a failing grade, even though you've done nothing wrong. They actually give you, so if everybody out there went and pulled their own business credit report right now, I guarantee you 99% of the people that are listening to this would show their business credit report would show that they have a failing grade, if they even recognize them at all. Experian won't recognize you if you have nothing reporting yet. Equifax won't recognize you. Dun & Bradstreet will. If you have applied for your DUNS number or you've been in business over a year, they tend to assign you a number. It's free. So if you pull that, it's going to show no score, 0. And it's going to say potential to be bankrupt in the next 12 months. Now, how crazy is that? And by the way, business credit reports, I don't need your permission to pull them.
Interesting.
It's not like personal credit. Here's why. So in the manufacturing world, I get a contract with, let's say, Blue Cross Blue Shield, who I used to do business with, and they want to give me a $500,000 job, but they want to make sure I pay my vendors. So they're going to pull my business credit report to make sure before they award me that contract that I pay my vendors. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Competitors can pull your business credit report. Not that real estate investors will pull each other's business credit report, but in our world, they did all the time. So you need to understand that you have a profile, whether you like it or not, and you need to understand how to manipulate the wrong word, but at least build it the right way. And the secret to that is knowing who to go to, right? I'm going to give people an opportunity right now. If they want to grab a pen or a pencil, I'm going to give you somebody that will approve you right now. You can go to a company called, yep, you can put it in there, Uline.com. It's ULINE.com. They sell shipping products. And I know every real estate investor is like, what am I going to do with that? Well, I bought a trash can from them, right? I just needed a trade line. So I bought one of those big trash cans you put out on the curb. It was $90. I think you have to order over $50. Got it on credit. They shipped it to me, sent me the bill, and I paid it. And they report. So that's just one example. They're called a starter vendor, and that's typically what you're going to get. But the good news is you get gas cards right out of the gate if you know who to go to. You can get Home Depot Pro Credit right out of the gate if you know how to apply. Excuse me. And you have to look credible. If you don't have those items we talked about, they're going to deny you. They're going to ask you to buy from them 10, 15, 20 times before they give you credit. They're never going to give you credit. If you don't straighten out how you look, their credit department will never allow that application to go through because it's all done through artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
I know, crazy.
Yeah, which had some intelligence behind it, but doesn't always work out.
Yeah. So, and you know what, even more importantly, and you can check the SBA on this, credit limits for business credit tend to be 10 to 100 times higher than personal credit. 10 to 100 times higher. So if you're saying to yourself out there, yeah, I've already got my Home Depot credit card. I personally guarantee you, who cares? I got a $10,000 limit. Well, what if it was 100,000? Right?
Yeah,
Would that give you some leverage? Right. Yeah. Absolutely. It's not just that. If you're driving around looking at properties all the time, why are you driving your personal car? Why isn't that car in the company name on the company's credit profile?
Yeah.
Right? How about the gas you're putting in it? Why are you breaking out your debit card, your personal credit card? Use your gas card. These are all things that are easily attainable, but no one does it. Very few do it.
But I should say, and that's your tax advisor and make sure you're keeping mileage logs. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I had a separate card just for real estate. Actually, it was a pickup F-150 pickup truck. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. But the point is that if you can take as much away from your personal credit profile and put it on your business, it's going to make your personal credit profile that much stronger. You're not using it. So your score is going to stay high, relatively high all the time. So that when that opportunity does come along, you're prepared. Right?
Yeah. All right.
I mean, look, you didn't exist then. If you existed, I wouldn't have worried about any of this. I'd have just been like, find me properties, buddy. Here's my money.
Yeah. All right. So how does one get started in this process?
Well, I would tell them to go to flippingamerica.net/funding, but it looks like that link doesn't work to build your business credit.
Oh, well, look right here on screen. It says FA Credit Suite. bit.ly/FA Credit Suite. I've had it on there for a little while. So anybody can go right there, and that's going to take them to your site. And just full disclosure, that is an affiliate link. I signed up as an affiliate for Credit Suite, and I took the link they gave me and used the bit.ly shortener. So it's something that is easy to remember. And there you go. Take it away from there.
Yeah, and then what will happen is if you go there and you can schedule an appointment, we'll talk to you about your business credit profile. As a matter of fact, we'll show you how to get your business credit report for free. You get 30 days free monitoring. You can look at it, see what's on there. We can go over it with you. We can show you how the system works. What we do is we're an education company. We teach you how to do this. We don't do it for you. We show you the step-by-step process, but it's really easy. Again, we're both old, so we both remember this. Remember paint by numbers when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Right? Same thing. This is something you can't screw up unless you go out of the lines, unless you jump ahead. We make it really easy for you to follow. It doesn't take a lot of your time. I talk to a lot of business owners who are like, well, I'm super busy. Of course you're busy. If you spend an hour a month on this, that'll be fine. That's all you'll need. Okay. How difficult is it to fill out a credit application? Typically, they're less than one page. Right?
Yeah.
And there's opportunities to even speed that up. If you have good personal credit, you can get high limit business credit cards that report on your business credit. You have to personally guarantee them, so don't go bad. But they'll typically give you 5 times your highest limit personal credit card. We have a program for that as well. You guys have probably heard credit card stacking out there. There's a bunch of companies that are doing it. We don't do it. We have somebody we work with that does it, but they give our clients a huge discount for what most people retail it out. So if you need money now, you can get that. As far as credit card money, I'm talking.
Right.
We call it the credit line hybrid.
Right.
And in addition to that, I'm sorry.
We're connected with someone that does that. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know.
No worries. No worries, man.
And if you do, I've funded a bunch of people this year who were real estate investors who had a lot of revenue coming in because they had rental properties, and they wanted to expand and buy a larger apartment complex. So they took some of that revenue, borrowed against it, and then we funded an apartment building for them as well. But what we really care about is not the funding side. What we care about is showing you how to build that profile. Because here's what happens. Once you have that profile strong, and in our world, a strong profile is 15 trade lines, roughly 15 to 20 trade lines reporting. Once you have that, something funny happens. Looks like you're gone.
I'm still here. Me, right? I just let you take over the screen.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like you're going to say something important, so you have the whole screen.
This is important. So what will happen is, just like anybody who's ever had really good personal credit, you go out to your mailbox every day, there's a credit card offer, there's a loan offer. Well, once you have 15 plus trade lines reporting, the same exact thing is going to happen for you. Commercial lenders are looking for borrowers. They're looking for people to lend money to. So how do you think they find them? The yellow book pages are gone, right? So they're going to buy your data from the credit reporting agencies, and they're going to market directly to you that we have funding for you. We have credit cards for you. We have whatever your business is going to need. So it's almost like the tide shifts. Then it gets real fun. Now you're no longer building business credit. Now you're just getting business credit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I love that.
Now I get robocalls every single day from somebody offering me money. But I made the mistake one time about, 6 or 7 years ago of talking to one of these people for a minute and getting a little bit serious about maybe doing it. And then I realized, this is a daily interest rate. And when I started adding up what, they wanted me, it wasn't like loaning me money that I could make a payment in 30 days. They had to start paying back the next day and had to make daily payments. And when I figured out the annual interest rate was 40%.
Wow.
They claimed it was in the 20s, but in reality, because of the way they made you pay back, it really effectively was in the 40s. So I cut that conversation off, but they have called me for 5 years and different variations, different phone numbers, different people, to the point that I finally put a real snarky outgoing message on my phone. If any of you have ever been fortunate
I've heard
to
it.
get my phone number. Yeah, you've heard it. So, but this is different from that, right?
Yes, that was probably merchant cash advances that were reaching out to you. Yeah, that's what
it amounts to. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's different. I tell people, look, if it's easy money, it's not easy, right? If it's easy to get, it's not easy. There's a reason we called hard money lenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hurt.
Chip and his people make it pretty easy, but you do have to have, dot all your I's and cross your T's.
Yeah. Well, when I talk about business credit, I'm talking about major corporations reaching out to you, the Wells Fargos of the world, or whoever, and they just want to give you high limit business credit cards that don't report on your personal credit. And that's really the key. Look, here's something else that we didn't talk about. If you max out your business credit card, max it out, 100%. It doesn't affect your business credit score. Now, what happens if you max out a personal credit card?
Yeah, that's one of the key factors.
You're 50 points, baby. At least you're losing. That's the other reason I love business credit, because it doesn't play emotionally with your credit score. Right? Leave your credit score alone. Use it to make money only. Matter of fact, that was my mantra. I didn't use my personal credit unless it made me money.
Okay, so are there certain limitations on what you can use this business credit for?
No. Well, it's business. You want to use it for business, obviously.
So what if I have some business in the Caribbean islands where I'm going to look at a little real estate there?
Is that business? It's business, right? Absolutely.
It's going to be business for about 2 hours a day.
Hey, that's how I feel. I'll come visit you. I want to check out a property there.
Yeah. I I recently took a business trip to New Orleans, and we happened to stay in the French Quarter, and I looked at property in the French Quarter all weekend, and I'm actually shooting a video this afternoon about that experience. So that was a business trip. It was a business expense all the way through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, every time I went away, the fact that my family went with me had nothing to do with the fact that I wasn't there for business.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Right.
always plan, all vacations should be planned, especially in real estate. It's so easy.
Yeah. It's just giving you all some ideas now. That's all. Be
Yep.
sure that you talk things over with your tax advisor because we're not giving you any tax advice. And some
Nope.
of these things may have tax consequences. So be careful. All right. All right. So, where are the gotchas? Anybody that's looking at this is kind of skeptical or are probably thinking, how could this come back to bite me in the fanny?
Okay, there are no gotchas other than don't commit fraud. Obviously, don't commit fraud.
Yeah.
All right, don't lie on your application. They're going to mark your account as fraudulent. They're going to report that to the credit reporting agencies, and they're going to mark you as fraudulent, and then you're done. You'll never get credit again in the business name. The gotcha here is really more about the boredom of it, the time it takes to build it. See, and I get that. That's probably our number one complaint that we get. Not that it doesn't work, not that it's just it takes so long. It's taken me 6-9 months to do this. Well, and I always have the same answer. When you got into real estate, did you plan on closing up shop in 9 months? Or are you planning on building a huge portfolio and being around for a long time, right? So this isn't solving today's problem. What you're doing is you're preparing yourself. You're playing chess for the future. You're thinking 3 steps ahead,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I'm thinking about this right now. I can see another gotcha. Just being frank, Dave Ramsey is one of America's top radio hosts and is loved by millions of people because he's helped people get out of debt. And I think the reason he is so popular is because people routinely get themselves in trouble with debt. And so that's not a gotcha of your program. It's a gotcha of human nature that when
Correct.
we have all this credit available to us, I just want to throw this out there. Please, everyone, use it wisely and carefully and listen to the Flipping America guy. I'm going to be your dad for a minute, and I'm going to say there really is only one good kind of debt in the world, in my opinion, and that is long-term low-interest debt secured by real estate, income-producing real estate. I know that you may feel like you have to have debt to get a car, and you may feel like you have to have debt to get a home. And in times like this, with interest rates the way they are, it might even be a better financial decision. I mean, my bank just offered me um, to get a company car. They offered me 1.9% interest. Well, I would be stupid not to finance it. Although I've never really wanted to have debt on a car, but when you make your financial decisions based on wisdom and not impulse purchases, you're going to be better off. Just be careful about debt. That's the
That's
word for me today.
that's actually a brilliant point. You're right. That's a self-imposed gotcha. I got the same deal, by the way, 1.9, and I couldn't help myself. Still paid it off early. It's free money. I still paid it off because
Well,
nobody likes debt, right?
I haven't taken it yet because I keep thinking my old car is going to make it. It's going to make it a few more months. I've been saying that for a couple of years now, and it finally kind of gave up on me last Friday. But I'm still going to limp along for a few more months, I think, just because. Just because.
Yeah, that is it. Look, and we preach this as well. When you're building credit, it's not just to have credit; it's to be able to leverage it, right?
Right.
Again, to me, you don't use credit unless it makes you money, right?
Right.
So cash flow control is also key. How many businesses have you seen? Restaurants are classic with this, where they just can't finance their growth. They
Yeah.
got a great product. They've got great employees, but they just can't keep up with it because they can't finance it. This is where business credit's super
Yeah.
important.
And I guarantee you, they're not going to get money if they go on Shark Tank. They're not going to fund a
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, not a chance. I don't think anybody gets money on Shark Tank. People give up stock. That's all they do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that in time, interest rates are going to change. They won't be as low. But the question to ask yourself when you're deploying leverage into a situation is, what is my return most likely to be? And is that higher than the actual rate that I'm paying for the money? Now, when you get a mortgage, we'll have a separate class on loan constant one of these days. That's the true cost of your money. But when you're borrowing, there is a rate that you pay. And you just want to make sure that you know that you're going to make more than you're spending. Then it doesn't matter what the interest rate is. I tell people all the time, why are you balking at 15% interest rate on a hard money loan, which they're not even that now. But
No.
if you're going to make 30% on your money and you can get money at 15%, how much money should you borrow? The correct answer is $1 billion.
Correct. And I was paying 18% plus 4 points
Yeah.
when I was doing it.
Yeah. Times have changed. Hard money is pretty competitive now. It's 2 points and basically 10 or 11%. And that is fantastic compared to where it was when you and I got started in the business. But still, it seems high. And one thing is for sure, it's going to be higher again. Interest rates are not going to stay this low forever, and maybe not even that much longer.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And ironically, it's funny we talk about interest. One of the easiest, I mentioned it, you can get the Home Depot Pro, you can get Net 30 accounts. Net 30 accounts are interest free.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get 30 days to pay that bill. So if you're good at what you do and you know you can knock a property out in a couple of weeks, right? And let's say you refinance, however, you have an exit strategy, you have 30 days to pay that off.
Yeah.
Interest free.
Well, and then you don't have to pay the whole balance off, because then you start paying interest if you don't. But
correct.
Yeah, you're not going to flip a property in 30 days because most borrowers these days are going to do a conforming loan, which means you can't even put it under contract until day 91. But again, topic for a different day. Still, you see the possibilities here. And Stephen, the reason I really wanted to bring you on to talk to our people is if you have credit available to you, it opens up a world of possibilities and allows you to get that wealth snowball rolling a little faster. You can do it without ever borrowing a dime, but it's going to take you longer.
Correct.
All right. So the link is on screen, everybody, bit.ly. I don't see any questions in the comments. I appreciate all the comments, by the way. bit.ly/FA Credit Suite. If you go there, you'll just have some direction on what to do next. There's a logical process to follow. Get your education, sign up for their programs, and get cracking.
That's it.
All right.
We look forward to seeing everybody.
All right. Stephen Wible, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you and appreciate all that you're doing to help people like us. Thanks again.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Roger. Thanks for inviting me.
All right. So that's it for today. And tomorrow night, we have someone scheduled, and I tried to confirm before we began this morning, and we have not been able to reach him. So I'm not going to say anything, but we do have a meeting planned for tomorrow night at 7:30. And it's on a related topic. Let me just say that. It's not a competitor with Stephen or anything here, but related. We're just trying to bring you the full world of possibilities. And that'll be tomorrow night at 7:30. You'll get an email if you're on the list. If you're not already on our list, drop me a line, info@flippingamerica.net. And our questions, and by the way, if you have questions about real estate or real estate investing, anything, I'll get you an answer. But please send the questions to questions@flippingamerica.net. And I have someone right now that wants me to help with analysis on a commercial property. Not a real strength of mine. I know the numbers, I know the math, but I've only bought a few commercial buildings, so I may not be the best expert. But still, we're going to try to find a way to help everyone who writes in, and we've done that for years. So questions@flippingamerica.net. That's it for today, everybody. I appreciate you joining us, taking time from your busy day, and we try to always give you maximum value and great information. And Stephen, you've played your role in that today. Great information. Thanks a lot. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night.